All right, I'm back. It's Joe's Home Garage, and we're going to take a look at this Foxlock um, remotes for the Fox body. So, comes with two keys, switchblade keys. I haven't had one of these in years. I think maybe my Acura had one. So, two remotes. Just go through what's in here and then I'll install it and we'll see how it works. Comes with a whole bunch of things. Oh boy, yeah, that's a lot of relays. I'm gonna have to figure this out and then get back to you and show you how it works. I'm back. It's Joe's Home Garage with a second video for this week. I forgot to mention it, and my other video was getting too long. So I see everybody's popping them up on Facebook. Everybody else saw the videos, 417 Fox and Brutal. I think it was Brutal, or it may have been, I don't know, somebody else. But the Foxlox, which is the remote controls for the doors and the trunk. And it comes with switchblade key, which I have not installed. And I'm going to tell you how my experience was with that. So the box showed up. Came in a nice box, Fox body box. I have already installed everything, but as you can see, I have some extra parts in here, and there's a reason for that. So I hooked up the Foxlock locks just like it's shown. You unplug the harness in the driver's door kick panel, which I had already had apart anyway. Plug in the Foxlock in one end, plug it in the other end. It has this giant pack of like 5-6 relays on it, which is kind of, whatever. And then it has a wire that you tap into, purple and pink wire, I think it was, for the trunk button. So the first thing I did was plug everything in and program the remotes, which seemed to work fine. And then I went to pop the trunk and the trunk wouldn't pop. So I opened the glove box and pushed the button for my door, or for my trunk to pop open. Dead. Nothing. Of course, my first thing, I kind of panicked because I didn't think about it. So this car, it doesn't have a keyhole. Doesn't have a gas door, doesn't have a keyhole. So if I can't pop the trunk, how am I going to get into the trunk? I'm going to have to cut a hole in the in the trunk to get in. So the only way I can get into this thing is with a button or a remote to pop that latch. So I don't really like, and there's no pull cords in these cars that I know of, or if there is, somebody let me know, that maybe, because there's a lot of parts that were missing from this car. But so then I found out that it had popped the fuse. So after going through about 5 fuses, I said, you know what, I'm gonna stick a 30 amp fuse in here, and because it's 20 amp fuse, so I'm gonna stick a 30 amp fuse in here and see what happens. Put the fuse in, and so actually the Foxlock magically started working fine, popping the trunk. But when I went to push the button in the glove box, just to make sure that both worked properly, you wouldn't hear the latch pop. You would hear a little sound of current, and then like the light in the glove box would dim a little bit. So it was pulling power, and it wasn't popping the fuse because it was a 30 amp fuse, but it wasn't enough power to open the trunk. Now I go back over on the driver's side, pull the wire off that's tapped in for the Foxlox trunk actuator. Go back, push my button in the car, in the glove box, trunk pops right open. So that was the first issue we ran into. Now, let me say that the guys at Foxlox were awesome. I mean, these cars are 30 plus years old. The wiring, even though I rewired most of the car, like I didn't replace the wires. I just went through and checked everything, retaped everything, fixed connectors that were broke, fixed wires that were broken. I did not replace the harness. So I can see that there may be issues. The ignition, the key ignition part in the column is a little clumsy feeling, so I'm going to replace that. But the guys at Foxlox were great. Back and forth emails. They had me sending videos. Like, they were responding within minutes. Like, these guys aren't playing around. He was very honest with me with the reason to keep the price point down. In order to keep the price point down, they had to, unfortunately, sub these things out to China. Nobody with a Fox body wants to pay $600 for to automatically open their doors with a remote control. They, but in order to get it down to the $200 range, they had to go to China. So some of the parts are a little cheesy and flimsy, but apparently a few other people I think I've heard of had issues. But so the way this works is this controller plugs into the harness, which plugs into the car, and then it has a button, a programming button. So the way it's supposed to work is you turn the key on, turn the ignition on, and push this button 5 times. And then this is if you're to program it to the app, you push a button on the app, and then a button on the car, on this remote, and then on the next remote. But once you turn the ignition on and press this button 5 times, this box is supposed to beep 3 times to let you know it's going into programming mode. Well, I don't get any beeping from it. So this is the second box that they sent me because they were thinking something was wrong with the box or something wrong with the button. But I could not get the app to program. We tried it on, I have an old Android, couldn't get it to work on the Android, tried it on my buddy's iPhone, no luck. Personally, I don't care about the app. I'm probably never going to use the app. I will carry my keys. What I am going to do is order from, what's his name? Travis with LED somethings. He has a key set that has the ignition key and the door keys all match. So it's one key. That way I don't have to carry another key. I can just have my Foxlox. But this works perfectly fine. As long as I don't mess with the button. What I did was I actually took the button from the glove box and put it back in the dash so it's not there. If I did need it and I didn't have my remote, I can unplug the wire from the Foxlox and push the button. So that it's like, I don't know why, we couldn't figure out why it's losing power somewhere or something's interrupting it. Must have something to do with the old harness, but as you can see, doors lock, push it twice, and it unlocks, and push and hold the trunk, and it pops the trunk. Now, of course, because now I got this big heavy spoiler on here, it doesn't fly up or anything, but with having the hinges from the convertible, it does stay up. So that's good enough for me. Actually, it actually works pretty good. But so that's where I'm at with the Foxlox. For the price I paid for it, I'm good with it. Once I get the new ignition key, I'm going to try reprogramming. Just because I don't know if there's maybe something in the ignition that's causing this. I don't know how, since I've never had another Fox body. And said my buddy's car's modified, so I know, like this car, when you turn the key backwards in the ignition, you know, in old cars, I remember that would turn just the radio on. It turns on the fuel pump, so you hear the fuel pump prime. When you turn the key backwards, it turns on the lights, like in the interior, same as if you would turn the ignition on. So I don't know if that's supposed to do that or not, or if someone wired something differently. And then sometimes the key will actually get jammed up and you can't turn it, like it'll lock the steering wheel where you can't get it to, you have to wiggle it and jiggle it to get it to move. So I'm just going to replace it. But the Foxlox works, you know, it works. Like I said, just can't use the app, or I couldn't get the app to program, which I said don't care about. And just can't have my button for the trunk. But my big thing was that since this car does not have a keyhole for the trunk, what a pain in the ass. I want to put something in the trunk. I got to go get in the car, put the key in the ignition, turn the ignition on, and then open the trunk or open the glove box door, then push the button and then get back out to open the trunk. So this just saves me having to do that. So I do appreciate what they've done for the community. And if any, I know some other people have like the CompuStar things, and it actually does have a little blue button or a little blue light that I mounted under the dash. I don't know if you can see it, but with the doors locked, it should be blinking. Can't see it, but oh well. At nighttime you'd be able to see it. But I do have brand new Dorman actuators in the car. So the only other thing, and if anybody has any, like, tell me. I've had nothing but problems with this window, getting it to go up and go into the tracks. Now all this stuff is brand new. But when the window goes up, it kind of goes crooked, and I have to push it to get it to go the right direction. Like it wants to pop out. I've tried aligning it. I did order new guide bushings, but I don't know if that's the problem or not because they didn't look bad, but I'm going to try replacing them. But what else goes bad on these things? Does the window come loose from the regulator that makes it crooked, or I guess it wouldn't be the motor causing that, but I don't know, just something else to think of. So, but that's it for now. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe.